Yeah, right. Fix this here. There we go. Turn that up a bit. There we go. Okay. All right. All right. Well, we are cooking here. And no, I am not waiting for people to come into the stream. I'm going to start right away because A, I'm hungry. B, I'm hungry. And C, I'm hungry. There we go. So we got a bit of chuck roast here. I'm going to dry that off so it doesn't run off the cutting board. Step that off to the side. There we go. Set up. All right, let's take a look at this. So we got some nice marbled chuck roast here. We got roughly 10 to 12 ounces of chuck roast. We're going to do about a 1-inch cube approximately. That's going to be fairly rough. Right there. We're not trying to be so precise or fancy. Hey, welcome in everybody. We are making a beef stew for dinner, as the title says. So we're getting ourselves started here. We got a pretty decent fatty piece of beef. Now this beef has pretty much been in the freezer for almost a month in total. I had a little bit yesterday when I made some ramen. Wipe that off real quick. Waiting for that to get a little bit warm there. And my fat of choice is a bit of butter. Use a tiny bit of butter to put a little bit of fat into the pan first. And this is, we're going to be using the Instapot. You know, we've got the pressure lid with the pressure valve on it. So this the meal isn't going to take too long cooking in the truck. All right. That's nice and hot down in there. You just see that butter melting. we're going to take our beef here on our cutting board. While that little bit, we're going to throw a little bit of salt, a little bit of black pepper, just a touch. We're going to roll that around so the meat will pick up all the extra granules. A little bit of browning on this. Now, this is not going to be the deepest, caramelization going on the beef, because it is a bit crowded in the pan, but in the pot. But it'll be nice and tender, because the pressure cooker does a pretty good job with that. So we're going to wipe off our blade, wipe off our cutting board real quick. There we go. Now, get that in there. So we're going to let that go for a moment. We're going to get a little, just a basic, plastic container here. We're going to prep our vegetables here. Hey, country girl, how you doing? Hope you're having a good 2020 thus far. This will get set to the side and get washed later. We're going to use almost 3/4 of a decent sized onion, about a little bit larger than baseball size, I think. We're just going to rough chop, some pretty big pieces of onion. Stick that in there. I like onion. Onion is good for your joints, because onion has a lot of sulfur in it, and sulfur is good for your joints. Put the onion in there. Now this Instant Pot is the smallest size they make, a 3-quart size, which for a truck is basically just big enough. We got some little pre-peeled baby carrots. A little over 1/3 of a, let's see how much, what's this? This is about 15 ounces, about a 1-pound bag of baby carrots, so we're good for that. And our last vegetable we're going to worry about is going to be a bit of celery. Set that right there, I think. Now we got our beef is starting to brown, so we're going to give that a stir. Try to get a bit of color into the meat if we can. A little bit of that nice little, not quite charred, but get some of that good color in there. Right, we're gonna cut the ends off of here. Get our trash bag out. Take the ends out of one in there. And we're going to cut the celery here into about 1-inch long pieces approximately. A little bit of dirt in there, but that's not going to hurt nobody. Anyway, we'll take that piece off. We got some leaves in there. A little bit of dirt. We're just going to throw those pieces away. like that. Take that piece. Just going to throw it away. We're not going to be too picky here. All right. For the celery, and especially whenever there's a little bit of celery leaf in there, that really gives a really good flavor. All right. We're just going to go ahead and lose that last piece there. All right, that looks good. Like I said, this is a very, very simple, quick recipe. I'm not trying to be doing anything fancy with this particular beef stew. There are a few ingredients that I wish I did had. Mr. Lee, how you doing, sir? Valley Transportation. Well, Mr. Lee, just tell me what you want to know, and I'll do my best. I've been here since August the 5th. I've been on the road since August the 8th. I'm in my second truck because I had I got hit, and the truck was needing some major repairs. So the company just swapped trucks. You know, when I was in Dallas back in the middle of December, and I'm just rolling along. Same exact truck layout. A 2018 Peterbilt 389, 280-inch wheelbase, 500 horsepower engine, 1,850 pounds of torque, 18-speed Eaton Fuller engine. The gears on the rear, I don't know. I have to look that up. What else? I'm pulling a Manac 48-foot step deck trailer. The low side of it sits at 44 inches. A 10-foot 2-inch split for the rear axles. Hey, Mr. Mike, how you doing, sir? Making a little bit of beef stew tonight, as you can see. So here we got the juice from the, i.e. the blood from the beef. We're going to put that in there too. Throw that in the old trash bag here. All right. So we took a little bit of butter into the pan. Got the Instant Pot nice and hot. So brown the beef off a little bit. So we're gonna throw in a little bit of salt and pepper onto the beef. We're gonna add a little bit more salt here. There we go. We're gonna add a bit of Italian seasoning mix. No sense in trying to be super precise. Some black pepper. We add a little bit to the beef. Now we're going to add a little bit more on top. There we go. We're going to take some Kitchen Bouquet, some browning and seasoning liquid. Got to give some good color. All right, the sauteing part is done. All right, let's put that on there. Get all that stirred around there real quick. Evenly distribute that. Put that there. And we got our celery, onion, and carrot. Throw that all in there just like that. There we go. And next, we are just going to move this cutting board out the way real quick. There we go. Oh, the only thing we need to do now is get our potato in there. So we're going to do that too. Forgot about that almost. So this is a simple russet potato. We're just going to quarter it lengthwise. So there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're just gonna, like I said, about approximately 1-inch pieces. There we go. Just gonna throw that right on top. Now try to break it up a little bit as much as possible. Just throw the potato on top. There we go. Wipe that off real quick. There we go. Then we can set that out. Now we can set it out of the way. All right. So the only thing we got to do, a little bit of water from a kettle right here, which we had sitting from overnight. And we need a little bit more. I'm going to throw that in just so it starts showing. We don't want too much water because we don't want to fill it up too high. Put the pressure lid on, lock it, make sure this is on. Okay, that's venting, that's sealed. Okay. So now we're going to select, what are we going to select here? Meat and stew. High pressure. That's 15 minutes. We want to go up to 30 minutes here. High pressure, normal temp. Then that's ready to go. It's that simple. I mean, now all we got to do is it's the process has started. So now we just got to wait. It's going to heat up, and it's going to, because it's sealed, it's going to raise the pressure, which means all that heat is going to be pushed into the food a little bit more, well, a lot more than what you would normally get from just doing it in a big old pot, or even a pot with a lid. Like I said, chuck roast, a little bit of butter, salt and pepper, a bit of browning seasoning mix sauce, a little bit of Italian seasoning, salt, and pepper. Celery, onion, carrot, some chuck roast. If you wanted to, you can add a little bit of garlic, a bit of tomato paste, and whatever other kind of ingredients you, I don't know why it's so blurry. I can't help you. Maybe I'm just that out of focus kind of guy. I don't know. Maybe I need to clean off the camera there real quick. Let's see here. I don't know if that's any better. You're looking at me, so it can't be that much better. All right, so far we've got this to wash, this to wash. We're just going to set that off to the side for the moment. Cutting board and knife to clean and wash. So we're just going to set that right there for a moment. Put the cutting board down here out the way. And when I'm done, I will put it back into the cabinet here. So we got a nice big old ladle to eat with, to scoop out with, spoon to eat with. And we got ourselves a nice simple bowl as well. Get our utensils put pretty much out the way. There we go. And now we wait. The Instapot pressure cooker is going to make this beef stew in about just a half an hour. Nothing too complex about it. The adding having that pressure vessel on the inside pushes all that heat into the food, cooks it a lot faster, especially with meats and beef, where you could have a tough piece of meat. It'll help to break that connective tissue down. So even a bad cut of meat, quote unquote, will deliver good results in a pressure cooker. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any biscuits. I don't have any French bread, so I can't make any garlic bread or anything like that with it. But, c'est la vie. Now, if I wanted to, I could add some farfalle to it, some bow tie pasta. Not really doing that with this, but you can easily make it an Italian type of stew. But other than that, not difficult to do. This is probably going to be one of the simplest meals you could ever make in a truck. I could put a whole roaster chicken in there and pressure cook a roaster chicken. Dump some barbecue sauce on it, or some lemon herb sauce, or some lemon herb spices on there, and it cooks just fine. That's all right. So here's all of our trash from dinner. We're just going to throw that up in the front there. There we go. Put that out the way. I got a shower earlier, and I took a few dishes with me into the shower, which some people will be like, wow, that's weird. Well, it is kind of weird, Normally, you're not going to take take your dishes into the shower, but as a truck driver, I got to make certain compromises. I don't have the room in here for a sink. I don't have the room for a dishwasher or an oven, or too many big things that you normally take for granted in a house or an apartment, or even in an RV. Now, if I had an extended cab truck, besides, right here, this right here, where I'm touching right here, that's the back of the driver's seat. Yep. That's the back wall right there. Right there's the back wall of a truck. That's about a little over 5 foot right there. Then it's about 7 foot, a little over 7 feet wide right here, where the bed is. A standard twin size, full size bed. A little bit of space underneath, about 3 foot by 2.5 foot by 2.5 foot, roughly. Then you got to take out the cabinet, refrigerator, cubby up here. Below you, the same thing, a cabinet just about yay tall, and 2 big open shelves where I have a microwave, I have an oven, a little convection toaster, pizza oven, right there. And then these cubbies up here are duplicated on the passenger side. Now I got to fit everything that I have in this space. 7 by 6.5, like 7.5 by 6.5 by 5.5. That's the size of box I'm living in. Then, like I said, you got to take out the cabinet, the bed. Underneath my head right here, outside, there's a cavity there that goes all the way through to the passenger side over here, where I have equipment and tools, whatnot. So, hey, TJ, welcome in, sir. So you have to make those compromises with, what you're doing in a truck. So a lot of times I am using, the disinfectant Clorox or Lysol wipes to do my dishes. It's one of those little hacks that I've come up that I kind of came up with. 'Cause I've never seen anybody else doing it before. So, but like I said, when I have a lot of dishes and I want to do, I'm going to go and take a shower anyway. Hot water, no length of time, and it's free. Wash my dishes, set them off to the side, go take my shower, come out, bundle everything up, bring it right back out to the truck with me. Easy thing to do. Hey, Mr. Lee, you still are going to want to call Daryl Jensen. He's the #1 recruiter. There's a woman, I forget what her name is. So I think something with a K for her first name. Karen or Catherine Roth or Rath or Wraith, something like that. But talk to Daryl Jensen. Pretty easy to get along with guy. He knows the how to deal with that. Just if you want, let's see here. What did I do with it? I don't know what I do with it. I had my had a book here. Oh, here we go. There we go. There we go. Guide transportation. Quick little employee handbook, manual, whatnot. All right. So if you want, there's your address. There's the phone number on top, 507-754-5558. Right? And here's we go. Where's that? Find the right page here. Yeah, Daryl Jensen. Daryl Jensen. Gensen. Or you can call Karen Rath. KERINRATH. And either one of those people, like I said, I dealt with Mr. Jensen, and he did a pretty good job, giving me the information, making sure that I was qualified and, that I met their requirements for doing the job. Like I said, I came in with a year's experience of flatbed, of securement with Melton truck lines. So, I had that knowledge. I had another year above that of basic trucking. So, two years and like 2 months, like 26 months of trucking. A little over a year with that was flatbed and, and dealing with securement, dealing with big, bulky things. I didn't do any oversized loads when I was at Melton. That's the one thing I wish I had gotten. But they looked at my record. All my reports were clean. Driving record clean. CSA score 0. Every time that I had gotten a DOT inspection, I passed every single one of them with no violations. So my reports from my managers previously and also, and at that point current with at Melton was all good. I did tell them about, I do a YouTube channel. Here you can see what I'm like and, how I do my job, at least do a little bit. So, they got to see the YouTube channel and say, hey, this is how this guy operates, how he acts. So they had an ability to judge and assess me as a truck driver, as an employee. But just just go in there and just say, hey, I talked to Robert Simmons, truck 1804, and if they have any questions, they can say, they're going to ask you, what about this? What about that? They're going to go through your record, the typical stuff that you're going to have for any kind of job. All right. That is cooking. Now, the great thing about an Instapot, there we go. The power requirements for this are below what my inverter is. Now, you can get the big home one that's like 6 quarts, double this size, which my sister uses all the time. Makes rice, makes soups. You can make a cake in here. I can do lasagna, chili, ribs, chicken, beef stew, whatnot. You can do it all. You can do a lot of good stuff in here. It's got a lot of presets, which work pretty good. And steam's starting to come out, so it's going pretty good. Like I said, just about half an hour from start to finish. Once you get it sealed up to cook with in a truck, this is one of those tools that are pretty good. It's, to me, it's an indispensable tool for cooking. It's like my panini grill. It's like the microwave. It's like, the hot plate. There's certain things that I would not want to be in a truck as much as I am without these cooking tools. Because going into Denny's or the Waffle House or Wendy's or McDonald's every single day, oh my goodness, I would have to blow my brains out for the bad food. And not only bad, poor service, it's not the way I want it, and it costs way more. So I'm going to get a bowl this size. So here's my hand. Just about that size there. So for comparison, my hand's right there. Not a huge bowl, but a good meal. One good meal here, maybe a little bit of a side of bread, would fill you up pretty good. I'll fill this up 4 times at least with 3 quarts of food, with 3 quarts capacity from this Instapot. Now, the total cost of the beef, so I used approximately almost $3 worth of beef. The spices, the vegetables, the carrots, onion, and celery, each of which I spent about $1 for each of them. And then I haven't used all of them, so 50 cents for celery, about 50 cents for the onion, or maybe more like 6 cents for the onion. Carrot was about 40 cents. The spices and everything else in the water maybe added up to another 50 cents. So, in total, I'm going to get 4 big servings of beef stew out of this for roughly $1.85 each serving. Where, if you got beef stew, one bowl like this, you're going to pay $7, $9, $10 for one bowl. So that's one of the bigger reasons why I cook in the truck. A, I love cooking. B, it's cheaper. C, I don't have to deal with somebody else's timeline. D, it just tastes better. I have exactly what I want. Now, the negative on that is it takes a little bit longer to cook. Now, it's not the fault of the equipment. That's the fault of the inverter that I have, not only allowing me to do so much. I just got messages coming in. What are you doing? I'm on a live stream. That's what I'm doing. There we go. But, you know, people make it harder than it really needs to be, in my opinion. Okay, so just like the recent video I just posted, you know, where I was down in Florida, Haines City, Florida, got repairs in the morning, went back to the truck stop, and some guy was making his parking job 10 times, 50 times harder than it needed to be. And for almost 20 minutes, he was doing some of the most idiotic things. It's like, why are you making it hard on yourself? You know, there's certain ways to do certain things. You may not have don't really have the need to innovate, to create a new way of doing something. There's been enough man hours over the past almost 90 years of combination vehicles like a tractor trailer. You know, yeah, they've been gradually getting longer and longer throughout the years, but what? Parking, when there were 30-foot trailers, 40-foot trailers, now up to 53-foot trailers, the process to properly park is the same thing. So going in and doing it your way is not always the best way to do it. I haven't tried to innovate in driving. I do it the way that everybody's done it thus far. And there are times where that is right and proper and better for you to do. Now, there are other things where a bit of innovation coming in doesn't improve it. You know, like I said here with cooking dinner. How many truck drivers will have a pressure cooker? Some truck drivers, will have a crock pot. Some truck drivers will have that little lunchbox, 12-volt thing that you plug in, and it takes 7 hours, to cook a chicken breast. Why? If you have an APU, like I have, or your truck will run without turning off, if you have an inverter here to where you can plug in a standard home outlet plug, a microwave, Instapot, hot plate, panini grill, stick blender, a multi-purpose oven. All these things make my living in the truck so much easier. And it's not just about saving money. That's not the only reason I do it. It's quality of life that I'm getting out of it. The side effect is I save money. Like I said, a bowl this size, $8, $9, $10 at the restaurant. Making it in the truck myself, less than $2. So 4 meals out of this Instant Pot with what I'm cooking now. Let's just say $8 a bowl. Without a tip, without the taxes. That's $32 that you would spend for this. I'm going to spend less than $8. 1/4 of the price. And I get the other benefits for it. It's healthier. I know exactly what's in it. I know exactly how it's going to taste. If I want it spicy, if I wanted this, I wanted that. At the last minute, I want to put some pasta in there. Nobody can tell me no. I'm not going to be charged extra for it. You know? And if I want to save this half now, half later, I got Tupperware right in the refrigerator. And I don't have to worry about getting a little to-go thing that might or might not spill, that may or may not fit into the refrigerator. I know this Tupperware is going to fit in the refrigerator every time, and I can put anything I want in there. And like I said, because I like cooking, I truly enjoy cooking. It's not a chore. It's not a burden to me. Having a refrigerator that is 1/3 the size that I want, a freezer that's 1/10 the size that I want, not having countertops where I can actually stand up and cook, that's the bigger burden for me in cooking. But a little folding camp table gives me a little bit of surface. Yes, it's low. And it's only like 2 foot high at the most. But I have a source of electricity. It'll work. I have to make a few compromises in what I can do and how long it takes. But overall, cooking in the truck is a great benefit. Why more guys don't do it on the road? Like I said, before I even went to truck driving school, getting my CDL, I was watching YouTube, and I was watching as many of the channels out there as I possibly could, so I could learn how to be in a truck. And so few people actually cook in the truck. And not one of them, to any extent that I do, except for one person, one or two people that have extended sleepers where they actually have countertops. But other than that, everybody was using either a little crock pot or a little, the microwave or the little lunchbox heater doodad. And, it was like, no, there's no reason why that would be necessary. I got in my first truck was a Volvo 670, I believe it was, 2016. It had it wasn't a great truck. I did not like it, but I was able to cook. That was the thing. I was able to cook, at least a little bit. When I left out of that truck, went to my second company, to Melton, the truck did not turn off. The truck would idle all night long. Because I went to Melton because of a couple things. One, the reputation. It was a good company, at least it was for me. they had at that time when I was looking at their website and before I applied for the job, they had APUs on the truck, which I wanted that. But then, of course, they had their reasons for getting rid of APUs, just let the truck idle. So I was able to cook, without a problem. They come here to Valley Transportation. They have APUs. I don't have to have the truck engine running, which I prefer. I prefer that little engine back there over the truck engine running, 24/7. All right, so we got about 19 minutes left on the clock for the cooking, which is, it's a little bit more than half, just about a little over half an hour. But we're gonna when the buzzer goes off, we're gonna open it up. We're gonna stir it up, make sure all the ingredients are well mixed. We're gonna put it back in for a little bit long, just a little bit more, and then we can serve. I got a nice big spoon to dish it out, and a nice spoon to eat it with. Like I said, if I had some nice French bread or something, Mr. Welkster, we're making our beef stew. Ready? The old Instant Pot pressure cooker. It's a versatile tool. You can use it as a pressure cooker. You can use it as a regular cooking pot with the lid off. You can do it as a slow cooker, a crock pot. I can do rice, beans, chili, stew. I can do ribs. I can do a chicken in there. I can do a pork roast in there. I want to do pulled pork. Easily make it in this. And when it's done cooking, I'm going to turn the little knob here to take the pressure off. But another 17, 18 minutes, that's going to be ready. Like I said, if I had some biscuits or bread, I could make some garlic bread. I could put it in the toaster oven up here. Unfortunately, I don't have that, but there you go. But the main thing right now is we are coming to the end of our food supply, our fresh food supply. All right, so pretty much empty. Get some more carrots there. So everything pretty much fits down here on the bottom. Miracle Whip, peach jam, bean dip, carrots, celery, a little pack of meat, cheese, and a little bit of toast. A quick little thing there, and everything else in the door: garlic, butter, some pickle brine, tomato paste, mustard, butter, cheese. No food up here in the freezer. That was full at one time, so I need to make a Walmart run for some food. Mr. Dowse, how you doing, sir? Beef stew is cooking. All right. Like I said, there's still other recipes that I want to do. I want to pick up yes, the slotted spoon will eventually come. That is on the shopping list. At least up here, at least, So if I eventually think of it, yeah. Well, thank you, Mr. Dowse. I appreciate that. I don't promise excitement. I don't promise special effects. I don't, there's no hot girl back here, in go-go boots. Wish there was, but, you get the excitement and the thrills and spills of a 48-year-old truck driver. It's that exciting, you know. I mean, the highlight of my day is doing laundry. You know, dealing with kitchen towels and and all the fun stuff that a long-term, long-haul, heavy-haul truck driver does. You got to imagine pretty hard to make this exciting. You got to have one hell of an imagination. But, it's not my fault. It's your fault for watching. So if you're bored, that's on you. All right. Oh, pardon me. So, we still have another 14 minutes to go for the stew. So, what questions do you possibly have? I'll do my best to answer them. Either about value transportation, what I do know. I'm not going to give you any BS about it. My opinion is my opinion because it comes from my personal experience and viewpoint. There's no such thing as a perfect company. All right, Mr. Dallas, have a good one. Just have a good evening. God bless you, sir. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. Like I said, my experience, my viewpoint, there's no perfect company. Some people will like I said, I used to work in Melton truck lines. Some people had a bad experience. Renegade Rambler, how you doing, sir? Welcome in. I do appreciate it. As you see by the title there, we're making a little bit of beef stew in the old Instapot. So we're gonna have a good meal coming out of that real soon. And if you want to see how I made this beef stew, this will be DVR'd, as they like to say on YouTube, and it'll be up constantly, no matter what. Mike, don't tell me you're leaving, Mike. Ah, come on, man. You don't have anything to do tomorrow, right? Just have a good night, sir. Appreciate it. Hopefully, Wyoming isn't, well, how do I want to put this? Isn't more frozen than it already normally is. Last time I was in Wyoming was during the summertime, so I had clear sailing through. I've not been back in Wyoming since beginning of fall, I believe. I believe the last time I went through Wyoming was still in August. I'd have to go back to the vlog and look that up, but apparently they got shut down again today. I-80 and I-90 got shut down, and then also, what is that, 25 or 15 going all the way up to Montana shut down as well. So a lot of guys, a lot of truck drivers stuck, for a couple of days up there. So, but high winds, lots of snow. They can't get the roads cleared, so it's not safe. The weather conditions just are what they are, and that's what you got to deal with sometimes. All right. One other little topic which I wanted to make sure anybody who's watching is up to snuff with. If you see the vlogs, you'll notice I just posted the second part of October the 26th, episode 69 of season 2. Now, I took a little time to lay out all the dates and all the episode numbers. So what I'm going to be doing here with the next couple of months is I'm going to make a current day vlog, and it'll be correctly numbered in sequence. So you won't be, you jump from this date to this date to that date. They will be correctly numbered. So they're not going to be uploaded in the correct order, but they'll be correctly numbered for episode number. So tonight I will be doing today's vlog, which really didn't have much to it, so it's going to be a quick thing. All right, well, see you later, Mr. Welker. Just have a good night. God bless to you too. But the current day's blog will be posted on the current day. I'm going to try to maintain that. And I'm going to be going back, like I said, back to August 27th, and then every day after that until I'm fully caught up, to try to bring this backlog back up to snuff. Past several months, unfortunately, I've not been as attentive to it as I should be, but we're gonna make an attempt. So I got all the episode numbers laid out for the individual day. I'm still gonna do the time warp videos and the supplemental videos as I go through, but I'm gonna try to catch those up. We got about another 8 minutes to go for the beef stew, so good, be just fine there. So if you have any questions or you want to join the chat, you want to join the video, there's the StreamYard link right there. Feel free to come in if you want. Yes, I know I shouldn't be having this, but nobody's going to stop me, so ruin my health the way I want to. So, with the new process that I'm going to be doing with the videos, I'm still currently working off of hard drive number 6. This is a 4 terabyte hard drive. And I am uploading videos to hard drive number 8. And I will be, both of these will be getting a video every single day. The current one and the old and the one from the past will be done. And I also got, yes, number 7 is completely full, but I have not gotten to the backlog that's in this one for the vlog, but that will occur. It's just, unfortunately, a process of just making sure that I'm more attentive to it to get it done. All right, so 6 minutes left on this. But like I said, I'm going to try to catch that up as much as I possibly can, and to make my get the vlog back to the current day. That way, it'll be it's going to be easier on me. All the vlogs will be more current and timely. It is going to be one day, or not even a full day behind, because drive during the day, at night, get it, post it. The only thing that would prevent it from doing what it needs to do would be the fact that, I'm in an area where I don't have a satellite signal. Yeah, here we go. Well, not a satellite signal, but a cell phone signal, because this service I use use the cell phone towers, but I have no limits on my data usage, and I don't get throttled. So if I got a good 4G LTE, or even a 4G connection, I can upload a video. I can do a live stream. Get this plugged in here. Stick that up here so I don't forget it. Because I was down like the 30% on the charge. And of course that connects to my tablet, the computer, the phone, and it connects to my GPS. Mr. Haggis, welcome in, sir. We're doing ourselves a nice old beef stew in the Instant Pot. Right here in the back of the truck. We got another 4 minutes till that's pretty much, done. Cooked in a pressure cooker, takes a lot less time. Yes, doing it in like a Dutch oven where I can make some biscuits, or scones for you, Mr. Haggis. Make a nice bread with it or whatnot, where I can really take my time and do a really good job. Just not possible right now, but we're making do with, cooking in a truck and, getting a good solid meal, a good hearty meal. All right. Turn that off. There we go. But other than that, we're doing pretty good. I mean, well, Helen, thank you for coming in. I do appreciate you stopping by. As you can see, we're making a beef stew. If you have any questions about truck drivers in America, I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have, and give you my viewpoints and my annoying sometimes attitude and opinions, which I have a lot of. Why not? But like I said, we're going to have ourselves a good, quote unquote, homemade, because what you see here is my home. Well, Helen, I am in Eloy, Arizona right now, and it was almost 80 degrees Fahrenheit here today. Now, right here, that right there is the back of my driver's seat. Cabinet, refrigerator, some cubbies here all the way up to the ceiling. I'm sitting on a twin size, basically twin or full size mattress. Here's the back of the tray of the sleeper cab, and this cabinet here, and this is pretty much mirrored on the side you're sitting on right now. And I don't like that. Sometimes the pre-made stuff, sometimes it's necessary. But if I could do it myself, I prefer to do it myself. That's why I cook in the trunk. Now, there are things that I do use as kind of a backup or quick meal type situation. Little, microwave soup cans, soup, cups. You peel the lid off, you put the cap on, pop in the microwave for 30 seconds, 40 seconds, whatever. And, you have something quick and easy. Not always great, but, sometimes you have to compromise with that. It's like this, okay? This is from Walmart. And I have like 4 or 5 varieties of this, little bag pasta type thing. You just add the water, you boil it up, you stir in the sauce, and you got a meal. I have about a dozen of those on the truck as backup. Not exactly top choice when I can make something from scratch besides making the pasta, I wish if I can buy a decent pasta maker that'll work on the truck, I'll do so. But I'll use the Barilla. I'll use the Barilla pasta, spaghetti, farfalle, the elbows, without hesitation. But I'll make all the sauce, the ragu, the stuffings, whatever I want. All right, let that steam out, relieving the pressure. And already smells good in here. Chuck roast, salt, pepper, a little bit of butter, Italian seasoning mix, some browning sauce, celery, onion, carrot, water to fill it up. And when the pressure is finally released enough, we're going to take it off. We're going to stir it up a little bit, see if we want to do anything additional. We're going to taste it. Just bring a little spoon. We're doing a little taste test, see if we need to adjust the salt and pepper or anything else. And then, we will, actually have something, we're going to have, a fairly decent meal at basically a quarter of the price. So this is a 3-quart Instant Pot pressure cooker. This is the size bowl I have. Here's my hand for comparison. I'll do it that way, I guess. Well, yeah, I mean, that's what you want to do. I mean, what I want to get are some of those, camper meals, military ready-to-eat meals, MREs, that you just open them up and they have the little heater pack built in them. You can open up and it has all the accoutrement with it. But as long as my auxiliary power motor works, as long as the APU, the inverter for the power works, I can cook, regular meals. I mean, look at the Christmas dinner I did. Look at the, I did chili dogs. I'm doing stew. I'm cooking things from scratch with the basic ingredients that I buy. Now, there are things, like I said, like this, that I can cook real fast. It'll fill me up. It'll keep me going. Not exactly what I want, but sometimes you got to do what you need, not what you want. Once I build my little shelving units for my clothes cabinet and my kitchen cabinet, and then also the shelving system I built under the bed and along the back wall here, going up this way, I'll have more room to do some of those things. Helen, yes, they are a bit expensive, but they're not really meant for everyday use. Like I said, they're the kind of the military MRE ration, whatever they want to call them. They're there. You basically put them in a place and you leave them until you need them. Now, if I was up in Wyoming right now, and like I said, my refrigerator is pretty bare. Some condiments and ingredients in the refrigerator, a little bit of carrot, celery, a couple hot dogs, bean dip, peach jam, Miracle Whip. The freezer is empty, shelf is empty, everything else is in the door. Condiments, not a whole lot of real substance. I'm using the last of my beef here to cook with. But this is going to give me 4 bowls here. All right. So now, here we go. So now the pressure is released. Hopefully. There we go. Got to push that little button down. Oh, look at that. Now, not exactly perfect, but everything in there is nice and tender. Let's stir that up a little bit. Now, normally I had to have a bit of flour in there to thicken it up, but we are going to do something a little bit different, right? I'm going to go right into my little kitchen cabinetry here. Bit of cornstarch. We're going to thicken this up just a tiny, tiny bit. We're not going to go too wild with it. Like I said, I would use flour if I'd put that in at the beginning, but didn't do that way. I'm going to use a bit of cornstarch after the fact, just because it's a little bit easier. You know, it's so we don't need much. A good forkful. Yeah, take just a tiny, tiny bit more. There we go. You know, especially when I do Chinese, I use that. You know, it comes in pretty good. Now, for dessert, salsa con queso cheese. I got some tortilla chips. We're gonna have a little bit of nachos for dinner. All right, you put that back in there. All right, get a bit of water. There we go. Now, a lot of truck drivers will buy the individual little bottles of water. You know, they get a dozen, 2 dozen bottles, you know, little ones that are just drink size. And they'll buy that every single week. And they have all these bottles sitting around doing nothing. Yeah, Rudy, I mean, exactly. You know, like I said, you know, some guys, you know, I've seen a few people with actually like Coleman stoves, little butane stoves or propane stoves. I would have one of those, but it will stay outside. I would never use that inside. You know, even though I got a window here with some netting on it, you know, some screen on it, on the driver's side and passenger side. I got the AC running. I could open up the windows up there. I would never use that inside the truck. But, like I said, you know, some people, they don't think when they're doing that stuff. So, I try to use my brain. You know, what little brains I do have, I try to use it right there. All right, so we got our stew there. We're going to thicken it up just a tiny bit. We're going to dump that in there. Yes, stir that up. This is more like a soup in consistency right now, but we want it a little bit thicker, you know, just give that kind of a creamy type taste. Oh yeah, Rudy, I believe you. I mean, in 2014, I was homeless for a little bit. Chef Boyardee, little, you know, spaghetti and meatballs and ravioli, you know, 16-ounce cans of those, which I would pick up for like 85 cents, 80 cents. And I would make 2 meals out of that. And for a while there, I ate them cold. You know, because that's... There we go. Okay. So let's take a Quick little taste, see if we need to add any more salt or anything. Yes, just a touch of salt. And yes, people might consider that more than a touch, but there we go. There we go. Carrot, onion, celery, a little bit of chuck roast, about a little bit under a pound, probably more like 12 ounces of chuck roast. Stick that right there, I guess. All right, let's bring that up here. So a little bit of dinner. Simple, easy meal. Like I said, I'm going to get a minimum of 4 bowls out of this at under $2 per bowl. This same size bowl at the restaurant is going to run you about $7 or $8, sometimes more. Now, like I said, I wish I had some bread or some biscuits. Helen, you get the flight over. I'll pick you up at the airport. Dinner is on me. I make a hell of a cheese sandwich. I boil a hot dog really well. Like I said, I can put some cheese in the microwave and make up some nachos. But nice piece of beef there. Good amount of fat on it. I'm not afraid of salt. I'm not afraid of fat. Super, super tender. The pressure cooker just, takes all that connective tissue and just melts it right off. Bit of celery, bit of onion, bit of carrot right on the spoon there. Now you can add mushrooms. Like I said, you could add some pasta if you wanted to that. You can add a little bit of tomato sauce to it to give it a little more rich flavor. It's not hard. I mean, it's so easy to cook in a truck. I don't understand why more guys don't do it. Yes, I will agree with you on that one, Mr. Rudy. I'm a Navy brat. I grew up on Navy bases and Marine Corps bases in Japan, for 10 years of my life, 1970s and 1980s. I had a chance when I was a Boy Scout to have the original sea rations. There were a few that were okay. Not exactly my taste, but they were edible. So we got a bit of potato, bit of celery, bit of onion, a little bit of the broth. Good, nutritious, less expensive. That's a big deal. I mean, every time I see a truck driver here on YouTube make $1 million, and oh my God, they're not paying me enough, and oh my God, they're doing this, and I'm not making enough money. Well, these are the same people I see inside the truck stop every single day. Yeah, great. I'm not seeing the same ones, but you see the same guys, the same type of guy, buying cigarettes, buying beer, buying the bad food every single day. 2 or 3 meals a day. And paying 3-4 times for the meal. They don't get what they want. They don't get it how they want. And then at the end of the week, they're complaining. I don't have any money. Well, knucklehead, you spent it all on McDonald's, on the Waffle House, on Denny's, on things that cost you 4 times what you can do yourself in the truck. Okay, so, like the Instapot here. I bought this for $80 last year. I think I got it off of Amazon, through Amazon. 3-quart size. That's plenty enough for being in a truck. I can typically get 4 or 5 meals with a full, have it full of capacity. My meals only cost me $2 when you amortize all the cost of the food off of it. And then, like I said, $80. Yeah, you average that out. Let's say I paid it off in 1 year. I amortized that $80 over 1 year. And let's say I used it. Let's see, last year I think I used it maybe 20, 25 times last year, for a 1 year period. So 25, $80 divided by 25. That, $4 or $2 a use. So add $2 to the cost of your meal, so this bowl here, instead of being $2, is $2.50. Well, Rudy, to a point, it is a little bit more time consuming, just because of I'm looking at the setup that I have. One, I do not have as powerful a hot plate. My inverter isn't as powerful as I would want it. If I had double the power out of the inverter, my hot plate could be a full 1800 watts. I could do things in a flash. But I'm using a 500 watt, hot plate, a little $10 Walmart hot plate, 1 burner. So it does take longer. Okay, so like I made potatoes and eggs this morning. Instead of taking like 3.5, 4 minutes for me to fry my potatoes, it took 10. Just because the equipment I have and the built-in stuff to the truck is just not powerful enough to cook like I would at home. But since I like cooking, that time that I put into it is pretty minimal. If I paid myself what these people in here are getting paid, yeah, it would be just as expensive. But I still get that benefit of being a lot healthier. It's exactly what I want when I want it. It's done the way I want it to be done. I'm not okay. So about 2 weeks ago, I took a piece of that chuck roast, sliced it thin, pan fried it, and I made steak sandwiches. Now, my idea of a steak sandwich versus, what their idea of a steak sandwich is, night and day. Hi, Mr. Wandering Haggis. Thank you very much. God bless. Thank you for coming in. I know it's late for you over there because you're 5 hours ahead. So you're looking at about 10:30 there right now. So have a good evening to you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Like I said, so my idea of what a particular recipe is not going to comport with what they do. Right? So like beef stroganoff. if I make it myself here in the truck, there are certain ways of doing things, certain ingredients, certain amounts of techniques that I would employ to make a good beef stroganoff. Now, you may or may not ever get it. I think, let's see, Jimmy Dean's does it pretty good. Bob Evans, I think, has it as well. But getting the ones that are in the boxes like this don't always match up to what I want. So if I take the time and do it myself, like I said, I'm going to be happier with it. It may cost the same amount in the long run, but I'll be happier with it. So if the cost is let's say it's $12.95 for me to go into the store and get it and have it brought out to me, somebody else cooked it to the way they prescribe to be done, versus the way I would do it, which am I going to be happier with? I may spend $15, like I said, at the restaurant, $12.95 plus tax plus a tip. I may wind up spending the same amount or more, but my enjoyment of the food is going to be a lot greater. And that to me is the biggest part of it. When you want a fried egg at, let's say Denny's, you go in there for breakfast, you want a fried egg. Do you only want to fry? How do you want that egg fried? Well, without telling anybody, you're going to do it the way you want to do it. No, you got to tell them to do it a certain way. And they could screw it up in a heartbeat. Throw it on a plate and send it out to you. Oh, well, I asked for sunny side up. I did not ask for scrambled. Now they got to take it back. The chef's going to have, the cook is going to have an attitude, cooking more eggs, and then bringing it out to you, and it still may not be right. And, hey, Mr. Maniac, how you doing, sir? Well, see, I don't tell anybody that I'm cooking. I don't put a big old sign out front saying open for business. Like I said, so when I go into Denny's or Waffle House or International House of Pancakes, whatever, and I go to get a breakfast, I want potatoes and eggs. What are they going to give you? Little crappy hash browns. They're only half done. I don't want that. I want hash browns done my way. I'm never going to get that. I can tell them extra crispy, and they barely do that. Hey, Stephanie, how you doing? Welcome in. Good to have you. Having a little bit of dinner, made a little bit of a beef stew. Got my pressure cooker filled to the brim. I still have a minimum of 3 more bowls this size in here. So I'll have a second bowl tonight. And then for Mr. Buster Tim, how you doing, sir? And then for dessert, some salsa con queso, some good old cheese. I'm going to microwave that on up. So I'm just going to stick it in a nice, microwave-safe bowl. I got a big old bag of Tostitos around here somewhere. Here we are. Got a big old bag of Tostitos corn chips. They even put the cheese on the package there. And I'll go to town with that. Now, like I said, it's so much nicer and easier to do it myself. I prefer cooking myself. Now, Like I said, a little bit of carrots, a little bit of celery, a couple hot dogs, bean dip, Miracle Whip, some peach jam, chocolate syrup, some Italian salad dressing. Let's see, we got some barbecue sauce, tomato paste, mustard, some leftover pickle juice, which I know this is going to gross some people out, but skull. Ah, whew, that clears the palate. Garlic, butter, some Parmesan cheese. But the freezer is empty. The two top shelves are empty. So I definitely need to make a run to the grocery store. One of the things that I'm going to do, I'm going to get me a couple of chicken thighs. Now, this is the brand of pickles that I like, Classic. I'm going to take a couple of chicken thighs. I'm going to put them in here and let them marinate in this overnight. And then the next day, when I take them out, I'm going to pat them dry. I'm going to drag them through a little bit of an egg wash, a little bit of a flour mix with a little bit of salt, pepper, garlic powder, whatnot. Maybe a touch of paprika, some Italian seasoning. I'm going to pan fry those. I'm going to get some hamburger buns. And I'm going to make me a little Chick-fil-A sandwich, which is not that hard to do. But this is always so easy to do. I mean, a beef stew is probably the easiest recipe that I have. I mean, you have to cut things up. You throw them in there. You put all your ingredients in. Just you don't have to mix them up or stir it. Just throw it in there. Pour your water on top. Give it a quick stir. Put the lid on. Turn it on. Bing, bang, boom. Maniac, don't think I won't do that. Don't think I won't do that. Because I already have. Hey, when you're in an apartment and you're a bachelor and you're running low on funds, sometimes this is, sometimes that's your dinner for the night. Right. A little bit of celery, a little bit of potato, nice big piece of beef. Like I said, the pressure cooker does an amazing job in tenderizing a hard cut of beef. You have a lot of connective tissue in there and it's gristly. You put it in here for half an hour, man, it comes out nice. I mean, you almost don't have to chew. Just basically squish it with your tongue. And, and just swallow, So, yeah, Rudy, exactly. And that's part of the problem. They are afraid of putting in fat. They're afraid of putting in salt. They're afraid of putting in flavor and really identifying, making it theirs. They're making it as cheaply as possible. There are some restaurants, I'll be honest, there are some restaurants I do enjoy going to. There are certain things at certain restaurants which I absolutely enjoy having. All right, Arby's. Everybody knows roast beef, blah, 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 blah. They have a fish sandwich at Arby's. One of the best fish sandwiches you can get from a fast food place ever. And most of the time, I don't even worry about the bun. Hey, let me have a fish sandwich. Let me have two of them. Take the fish fillet out, just bang, bang, eat it straight like that, leave the bread out. Oh, yeah. I've worked at restaurants. You know, when you work in a restaurant, you see behind the scenes how formulaic it can be. And I don't like cooking that way. I don't like cooking in a restaurant. I mean, I've had people tell me, you should go to cooking school and become a chef. No, I don't want to be a chef working in a restaurant dealing with the people who come in there and cry about how it's not the way they would do it. Why'd you come to the restaurant? I actually had a lady. I was working at a barbecue place called Mission Barbecue. A barbecue chain there in Maryland. Just started when I started working there. And this, I'm standing behind the counter, and I'm carving the meats and everything else. And this woman came in. That's not how I want it. Well, man, that's how we do it here. I want you to cook me that this way. Well, ma'am, I can't do that. This is how this restaurant does it. Man, if you want it to be your way, I'm sorry to say, you're going to have to go home and do it yourself. I don't want to do it myself. It takes too much time. Then don't complain about the way it is here. And that's the same philosophy I use for myself. If I don't like the way they're doing it, I will come out to my truck and do it myself. I will go home to my apartment or boat or RV or house or whatever. And I'll do it myself my way. Which is why I never, ever want to go be a regular chef and either run a restaurant of my own or be dealing with people with their food ever again. Because the simple fact is, I can't stand people. What did I do with it? Here we go. Pardon me for a second here. I don't think anybody needs to see this. Oh, pardon me. Pardon me. Here we go. We'll put that up in the trash can up there. But, excuse me. Well, that's the thing, There was a British TV show, well over 20 years now. I think it's probably closer to 30 years old. And it was called Chef. It was a sitcom. And it followed, it basically looked at this top flight chef in England and how abusive and rotten and controlling and showed what running a restaurant was like, but did it in a comedic way. Now, watching it from the outside and laughing at the jokes and the situations, that's great. Working at a restaurant and having to deal with that, no thanks. I've done my little bit of time as a pizza cook, as a barbecue cook. I have no desire to ever do that ever again. I did it because I needed to, and now that I don't need to, I never will. So, another steaming bowl of some good old beef stew. Like that, so I don't drip that on the keyboard. That won't look good. Kill my own keyboard with my own bowl of soup. Mm. Yeah, exactly. Like Gordon Ramsay. You think he's being bombastic or, rude? That's how chefs actually are in their kitchens. They are rude. They are insulting. They're some nasty people. They really have a personality that would just make you want to knock their damn teeth out. And I can't work around that. I refuse to. That's why I work alone. Because I'm going to do my job the best way I can. I'm not going to have some schmuck over top of me in a little white suit telling me how to do my damn job. I'm going to do my job properly to begin with. And working in a restaurant, no, I did what I had to do when I had to do it, but never again would I ever do something like that. That's beyond me. All right. So, tonight's dinner would have been better if I had some biscuits or some bread to go with it, but not exactly able to go to the local store here. I am in Eloy, Arizona, off of Interstate I-10, exit 208. There are 2 truck stops here. There's a Flying J on the south side, and I'm at the Pilot on the north side. And I am heading out here from Phoenix and Casa Grande, Arizona, where I picked up 3 tractors. And I'm taking this out to Howe, Texas, a bit north of Dallas, Fort Worth. I am currently waiting for permits, which will allow me to drive this particular load on the highway because I'm wider than the standard legal size. So I got here Friday in the evening, waiting for the permits, and once they come in, hopefully they come in tomorrow morning. It's depending on if the government offices for the Department of Transportation of Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas, if they are actually open, tomorrow. But they don't know what truck I'm in. That's the secret. And if they do come close, I got a way to defend myself. When they try to creep up through the window, get them with the fork. Like I said, so, once I get permits from Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas, then I have 1,000 miles, about 1,060 miles roughly, straight shot there. Now, the only thing that's going to make the trip longer is what my restrictions are for when I can start driving in the day, when I must shut down at night, what roads I must take, and what curfews I have going through some of the cities. So I got to go through Tucson. I have restrictions to go through Tucson. 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. I cannot be going through Tucson. So that's going to affect my time. Albuquerque will affect my time. I think there's a restriction to go through Albuquerque as well. Certain time I cannot go through Albuquerque. So that's going to affect my progress going down the road. Then once I get into Texas is usually pretty good for the direction from where I'm going to go. It usually is pretty smooth sailing in Texas. I mean, granted, there's a lot more rules in Texas, but when you actually get down to the driving, it's good. You on my Deke? I hope I'm pronouncing that right, sir. Thank you very much. It's not really difficult. The type of trucking that I do is pretty difficult, not because of the work itself, because of the regulations that I got to abide by. Now, this is missing about a dozen states, about 12 to 15 states. I still need to get the rules and regulations printed out. And that's pretty much what this book is primarily is. I have some annual permits in here, not all, but I have a few in here that I can run under. Oh yes, sir. I watch. I have 3 or 4 Korean truck drivers that I watch here on YouTube. One of whom is actually in the United States driving a truck, but all of his dialogue in messaging is and text is in Korean. I do not speak Korean. I grew up in Japan. By the shirt. Nope. I grew up in Japan for 10 years. I never made it over to Korea. I speak like 3 words of Korean. Bulgogi, Yabuseo, and kimchi. That's the limit of my Korean. I'm a typical American from Baltimore, Maryland. I'm a Yankee. I'm an Easterner. I'm a military brat. I grew up 10 years in Japan, 1974 to 1978, and 1982 to 1988. But a nice old bowl of beef stew for the night. But I do heavy haul. I do, oversized loads. So the rules and regulations I got to, abide by are a lot more restrictive than your regular truck driver is. But I enjoy what I do. This is the type of trucking I've wanted to do since day one of deciding to be a truck driver. I've taken a few steps to get here because I wanted to make sure that I was learning some things in a certain way. I wasn't just jumping head first into it. First become a regular truck driver, then become a flatbed driver. Now I do heavy haul. I took a couple of years to do that. Still good. Rudy, thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. God bless. I try to keep the weekend, the Saturday and Sunday blogs, live streams here under 2 hours. And like I said, I am going to be posting another vlog, current for today. And then also, like I said earlier, I got my schedule here for all the backlog vlogs from October the 27th up to current. So every day was going to get a minimum of 2, the current day and then the ones to catch up as much as I can. We're going to be doing that. Well, the problem is the continental United States, the 48 lower states, not Hawaii, not Alaska, you have rules that change. As soon as you cross that border, the rules change. Some of them are slight, some of them are pretty major. And every state has their own permit. Sometimes a county will have a permit, or a city will have a permit that I have to abide by when I'm running under them. So I have to know all that. So, like I said, this entire binder is the rules and regulations I have to abide by just to do my job at the most basic level. So, oh yeah, But it's the way it is, and that's part of the job. So I don't really cry about it. I just try to make sure that I am doing the best job I can when I'm driving. Other than that, not too bad. So like I said, I'm keeping this under 2 hours, so we're about to get off of here. I want to thank everybody who came in. Metal Music, thank you very much. Yuan, thank you very much. Rudy, Miss Stephanie, thank you very much. Nathaniel, Mr. Tim, Buster Tim. We're gonna get to your channels as well. I do subscribe to everybody who subscribes to me. I just recently passed 725 subscribers, which I find amazing. So, Miss Helen, thank you very much. Miss Wandering Haggis, thank you very much. Let's see, Mr. Welker, thank you. I appreciate it. Ralph Floto, sorry I didn't see you early, Ralph, but I do appreciate it. God bless to everybody here. Mr. Douse, thank you very much. Mr. Lee, I appreciate it. Mike, I appreciate everybody who came in. Thank you for joining me tonight in making some beef stew. This is going to be up on the channel forever. I save all the live streams to be watched later, especially the ones that are cooking, because I think that's going to be helpful to other truck drivers. So I'm going to have another bowl of the stew here. The rest of it is going to cool down. Like I said, I'm going to put it in my old Tupperware, put that in the refrigerator for the next couple of days. And I will say thank you all very much for joining me. Have a good night and a good day tomorrow. And God bless. Thank you all.